Today I want to talk to you about the emergency test that we're having on October the 4th at around 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, this is only a test. Per FEMA.gov, FEMA, in coordination with the FCC, will conduct a national test that will consist of two portions, testing WEA and EAS capabilities. Both tests are scheduled to begin at approximately 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, October 4th. The WEA portion of the test will be directed to all consumer cell phones, both in English and in Spanish. The EAS portion of the test will be sent to radios and televisions. This almost reminds me of the Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. I'm wondering why they chose this date to send this test to everyone. So according to FEMA.gov, quote, the purpose of the October 4th test is to ensure that the systems continue to be effective means of warning the public about emergencies, particularly those on the national level. The text should read this. This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed. So that will be in both English and Spanish. There are tons of conspiracies going around about this upcoming test. Are they warranted or are they just crazy? Does it concern anyone else that they gave most people the forced vaccines that had so many side effects and conspiracies surrounding them? They can't be all conspiracies. I've been doing my research. Have you? They're not telling the public the ingredients in the vaccines. They're just giving random numbers and letters of unknown stuff, expecting nobody to question it. I question everything. I don't trust anybody, especially the government. They have always experimented on people without their knowledge, and I'm pretty sure this is no exception. The doctors that are shouting out against the vaccines were conveniently silenced when they started leaking the ingredients in the COVID-19 vaccines back before the vaccines were actually released. Then they were called conspiracy theorists. I think God will have something to say about all these corrupt leaders pretty soon. Coincidentally, there's going to be another solar eclipse in the U.S. on October 14th, 23. So that's just a few days after this test is going to be sent out. It's kind of weird. It's going to be called the Ring of Fire. It's going to be an annular solar eclipse showing the outer edge of the sun as a brilliant ring, and that's why it's named Ring of Fire. As you might remember, we had the total solar eclipse named the Great American Eclipse on 8/21/2017. And it crossed 14 states, went from Oregon's Pacific coast, and it headed eastward, and it ended in South Carolina. And it was so amazing to get to see. I remember it so well. There will be another great North American eclipse in the other direction on 4/8/2024. It will cross over Carbondale, Illinois, making an X across the United States. And ironically, Carbondale, Illinois is also known as Little Egypt. And these two great American eclipses are 7 years apart. That's pretty strange. Then, it's not all. 9/23/17, right after that first eclipse, we had the Revelation 12 sign in the sky. It was so cool. Nobody else really talked about it. It actually lasted for 9 months. It was amazing. I really thought Jesus might be coming back when I researched this and lived through it. I was so excited. I started actually researching everything, this kind of stuff, signs in the sky, when those 4 blood moons from 2014, 2015 were happening, and they were all on Jewish holy days. So it got my attention, and I just started paying more attention to it. It's been amazing. We've had some pretty amazing signs in the sky since 2014, 2015, especially 2017, and since. But I think God is about to do something about our corrupt leaders, and they're trying to destroy us. And it's not just the United States, it's all over the world. All the leaders seem to be corrupt, and they're trying to kill us. All the leaders are getting together. They're comparing notes every year, Davos and Bilderberg and all this other stuff that they're doing to try to help us. And they're really just trying to enslave us and make us suffer. It's just like those Georgia Guidestones showed us in every language that there should be no more than 500 million people on this earth. So unfortunately, we have about 8 billion now. So it's a lot of us that need to get gone. Bill Gates said that he was taking care of some of that problem with the vaccines. The TED Talk that he did, the media tries to say it was taken out of context. It wasn't. He said it many times. It's hard to find. I've been researching it, and it is hard to find. Google does not want you to find this stuff, but there still is stuff out there if you look. It's just harder and harder to find. They all seem to be smiling and mocking us when they do all this stuff. They think it's really funny when they destroy the little people. But you know what? God doesn't think it's funny. I think all this is just coming to a head. So within the past few months, really, I'm going to say in 2023, but it's not been this whole year because 2023 is almost over. But we've had several train derailments, which have caused massive damage and loss of life. We've had strange fires that's caused massive damage and loss of life. We've had strange weather patterns that the government says is climate change. Well, they don't mention anything about HAARP. They don't mention anything about cloud seeding, which they've been doing since the early 1900s. They don't mention anything about these DEW, direct energy weapons, laser technologies that they've got. They have one in Maui, by the way, and nobody seems to know that. It's kind of fun fact. And all that, and they're forcing people to take shots, which they know nothing about. We're all just guinea pigs. I didn't take it. I hope you didn't take it. I don't trust them enough to take it. I just figured if I had to lose my job, I would lose my job. I guess God's just going to have to take care of us because they're really trying to kill us. So do you think it's conspiracy theories, or is it just crazy talk? Some even Christians think this is just crazy talk. I've had Christians tell me because I didn't wear a mask that I obviously was not pro-life, which is insane to me. But anyway, people are going to say crazy things. So why in the world would anybody think this test is sketchy? Why are there so many conspiracies about it? It's all just better to serve the population, right? They just want to help us, right? They're taking care of us. It reminds me of that Twilight Zone episode, How to Serve Man. They just want to serve us. I think it might just be to bail, but they are serving us, just like all these people are serving up their unborn children. It's just Baal worship. Abortion is Baal worship. And all these millions of little innocent babies are just being sacrificed on the altar. So when you start digging and researching, there's so much out there. Really, even though you can't find a whole lot, there's still a whole lot out there. I've attached a bunch of my findings to this. When you start digging, you just find a little bit more and a little bit more. It's like CERN, digging into CERN and digging into just all this stuff. It'll blow your mind. It'll scare you. But we just need to remember God's in control. Our government and the governments of the world are just trying to kill us. They're trying to depopulation, however you want to say it. They're trying to get that population down to, I guess they think it's just down to those people that are worthy of being here instead of us nobodies. I don't know. I think God loves us too. And I think he's just about had enough. I think it's coming to a head. I don't really know. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, but unless God steps in, the government's just not going to change, and the corrupt leaders are not going to change, and nobody's ever going to be held accountable. This is ridiculous. People that are committing crimes are not being held accountable. God is a God of justice. Justice is not being served, and I think God has had enough. I think all these signs in the sky are telling us something. We just need to be prepared. Thanks for listening.